So I am going to show you what I found at my ethnic deli. They call it a pork goodie box. So for $2.18, I have some liver, I have a heart, and I have a kidney. And so I'm going to open this up and we're going to look at the heart first. We're going to look at the outside, then we're going to look at, well actually I'm just going to do that right now. We're going to look at the outside of it, and then I'll pause when we look at, when we want to cut into it. So, oh, it looks like actually they cut it up for us. So normally we would have it here. It looks like they've cut off our tube tangle. So we would have, so this is a pork heart. We can, and when we're looking around, we can see that this is kind of a beefy kind of muscle. So you can kind of see beefy muscle. Like I said, they've cut off our tube tangle, so we don't have that at the top. We can also see they've taken off, it's like some of the pieces here of the auricles. So the auricles, when we looked at our picture with Dr. Netter, were at the top. At the top here, they're on these kind of flaps that went over each of the ventricles. So basically, in this pork goodie box, they've left us just the ventricles mostly. But we're going to be able to see inside, which is I'm going to show you next, that we can see inside the atria. So the auricles are at the top, right up here. So up here would be like the auricles, and this is the atria. So this is one of those, and then there's one over here. See these? So those are two of the chambers, and they're above. So if it was put together, they would be above the ventricles, which is in the center here. These two ventricles, which we can see. So when we look at these, we can see, as we saw on Dr. Netter, we can see these kind of cords that kind of connect. So those are going to be interesting. We can see how this left-hand side is, let me turn this like this, how this left-hand side is much thicker. So we said that this left ventricle is going to, well, we haven't talked about where it's going yet, but it's one that we can see is much thicker. So it's doing a harder job. This is more kind of, this one is a thicker muscle. And our right ventricle is kind of thinner. It doesn't have quite as the way that it's kind of closed here, the big kind of beefy one is on this side, or thicker muscle is on the left side, and the right atria is smaller. Trying to see if there's anything else that we would really want to look at here. We can. Because they've taken off our tube tangle, we can't really see as well, like how things enter. We can see one of our holes at the top. So that's where one of our big tubes is gonna enter the heart. So we can see that there's a hole there, a hole right there. So that's kind of interesting for us, and we're gonna follow it. We're gonna follow the way blood moves through our heart, but we can kind of see that this is what we got. When we're looking at a heart, it's really, really muscular, and it has chambers inside where the blood's going to go. And then we're going to find out when we learn about circulation how these different chambers work, and we're going to be able to follow, why we have these special cords. All right, let me look at one of our next pieces.